Hey, this is JC. Welcome to Urban Knife Guy, where we explore the urban lifestyle and jungle survival. Today we're going to have a look at this Wurkkos flashlight. This is the HD01 UV. It is a fantastic flashlight, so many functions built into one, and I think this is really almost the perfect flashlight for the average person if you want different functions in your light. I'm not sure if you EDC it, although it will be a perfect EDC for a crime scene investigator. You know what I mean when I unpack this and show it to you. First, if you watch this channel regularly but have not subscribed, please do so to help the channel out. And if you'd like to support the channel even more, do check out my shop links in the pinned comment or description below. You can even join as a channel member. Thanks a lot. A shout out to Wurkkos for sending this out to me. There are actually two colors. There's a black and a purple. When they said they're going to send me one, they showed me the purple one. I wasn't as keen as I was to the black one, so when the black one came, I was so happy. But it does make sense to have an alternate color and in purple, because one of the key features of this light is the UV spotlight. So if you want to distinguish it from all the flashlights you have, a purple one would make perfect sense. So I was okay with that as well. But anyway, this is the box you get with it, right? Some of the specifications here. I will talk about some of the features, functionalities, but I won't go through the exact specs. I will flash them on the screen so they can have a look at it. All right, let's open this up. So there's this kind of a drawer style box, and then you kind of flip it open this way. You do get a lanyard. You get instructions. At first, when this booklet came, I was terrified because it seemed so thick, but actually it's really only 2 pages of instructions, or 2 sections really. If I can open this up, it's really just this and this, right? This is the different functions based on how you press the button, and the rest is really all different languages, so that was a relief. You also get this Type-C charging cable because there is a rechargeable battery inside. And let's pull this out. Here we have the flashlight itself. So that's how it looks like. I will admit the design is very minimalistic. It is very almost utilitarian, but it has all the functions you want. So if you're looking for a stylish flashlight that looks good but doesn't have many functions, this is not for you. But if you want a flashlight that's so many different functions that'll be useful for your different, I would say, your daily activities or things that you might actually need it with, I think this is actually pretty good, and I'm okay with the design. Now, one thing I like about Wurkkos over other flashlights is their switch control system. By that I mean it is very intuitive in terms of what you press and how you get to different functions. Some of the flashlights, I find it just too confusing in terms of what you must press, how many times you must press, you must hold, and then you cycle back and forth, and it can get really complicated. Now with the modern flashlights, a lot of them, basically I would say the basic functions would be you press it, or you double click or triple click to get different functions, and then when you get to that function, you can depress and hold, and it generally would change the intensity or the brightness of the light. And that is true for this. So if you are familiar with that kind of basic function for modern flashlights, then this would be very easy to use, even though there are so many functions. And I think I learned this in less than 5 minutes. So it's not as daunting as you might expect, even though there's so many functions. You notice there's a main light, there are 2 beams over here, or 2 lenses, and then there's a floodlight over here, or a side light. So you actually have 3 different light sources, and you've got 2 buttons. So the front light or front button over here is to control the white spotlight or the main beam. So that's like your regular flashlight. And then you can just turn that on, and you can see that's on. I'll show you the brightness as I turn off the lights in just a bit, but just to give you an idea over there. And that light or that button is really for that light over here on your left. Now for this second button over here, that controls the UV light, which comes from this particular bulb over here. And then you would also depress it 3 times. You can turn on the side lights, or 2 times as well. Well, I'll show you in just a bit. So tell you what, let's go through some basic specs first, and then I'll show you a lighting test. Okay, so let's talk about dimensions first. So this is 111 millimeters. The head diameter, I guess the width is 27 millimeters, and the height is 17 millimeters. So in terms of, let's say, a Leatherman, this is the Leatherman arc. You can kind of see how that goes. It's about 4.5 inches long and about the same thickness but that gives you an idea of how big it is. In terms of weight, this is 95 grams or 0.21 pounds. So it is, I won't call this heavy at all. And I think in terms of this slender shape, this can go into your pocket, it can go in a pouch, so that's really good. In terms of the flashlight body, it is made from 6061 grade aluminum alloy. That's aerospace aluminum. And you can see the lenses over there and the reflectors. Now, I'm by no means an expert in flashlights, so take it as how you see it and what I tell you. It is water resistant with a rating of IP65. Alright, so that's basically what you have. You also have a pocket clip over here. It's a double pocket clip. Now there's a cap clip, which means you can clip it on your cap, although to me this would seem too long and heavy for a cap kind of a clip, but it's there. Oh, I should mention as well, the back is magnetic. So that's pretty good, because when you use the functions, whether it's a spotlight or especially this floodlight, you can then stick it on something that's magnetic and it can really give you a good field of light, and that can be very useful when you're working. All right, let me turn off the lights and let's do a light test. So I've turned off most of my lights. I didn't turn off the top front light over here, really so that I can see, and you can still see kind of the form and function over here. However, trust me, you will be able to see how bright this light can go. All right, let's start with the front light, or the front spotlight, the white light. So that's the top button. Just press that once, and this is kind of the low light. Okay, I'm not going to shine it directly into the lens. I do not want to blind you, so I'm going to just shine it on my hand over here. Now, if you press and hold, it will step up to the next brightness. Press and hold again, it steps up again. So that's bright. This goes up to about 150 meters in terms of a throw. So that's pretty bright. Press and hold again, it goes back to being a low light. Now, if you press it 3 times, you get a strobe. So that's pretty cool. Press it again and it goes off. And it goes back to non-strobe, and then switch it off just like that. Alright, so pretty straightforward. That's kind of your most standard flashlight feature. Now let's go to the cool thing. Let's go to the UV light. So for the UV light, you just press it. It's 1 intensity and it turns on like that. You can kind of see that UV function. Now I asked, is this specifically true UV or is it made up from RGB? It is true UV. So I've got some cash over here, some banknotes. So let's test these out just to test out the UV function. So this is Qatar 1 Rial, and you can see the security features that come up in the UV. Now if I turn it this way, you can only see kind of the back that lights up a bit, but you can see the security functions are really on this side, right? There's a number over there, and then you get different patterns over here. Let's have a look at a Singapore note. So on the back, you don't really get anything, but on the front, you can see that lights up really well, and then you get a little kind of a QR code that lights up there. Let's go for Malaysian ringgit, and you can see they've got the flower that lights up. That's a security feature. You got something else over here. And then on the back, you can see those security features. If we take away the UV light, see, you don't see it. With the UV light, it all comes out. And finally, go to US dollar, you can see that strip that lights up over there. So as you can see, the UV light function works very well. You might be thinking, why do I need the UV light? Really, besides testing if you have counterfeit bills, they kind of designed it, to check on pee from your pets, right? Check your place if they're peed all over the place. You can use it to find stains and whatever your imagination will allow you to use a UV light. But this is great because you don't usually have a UV light function in a EDC flashlight. So actually, I think this is really good, and it can be very useful when you want one. All right, let's go to the floodlight feature, which is the side light over here. Now for that, you press it twice. Well, you can see that's pretty bright. If I were to hold it, it would step down. All right, hold it again, it gets brighter, and then it gets super bright. And that's off again. Now, so this is a great floodlight, more of a working light if you really want to scan an area, or you can use the magnet as I showed earlier, and they can use it to really use it as kind of an illuminated area to work. Okay, now we get to some cool features, and this is the color part for the floodlight. Now if you press and hold, you actually get a color, and you can cycle between colors in the RGB range. So what you do is you actually press and hold, and it will actually cycle through slowly. Now I'm going to speed up the footage so that you can see this as how it goes faster. So we have cycled round, as you can see. Now you can actually get this to strobe as well if you press it, 1, 2, and you get the strobe feature. So you can actually cycle to any color you want and then get a strobe light on. Now this will be good, I guess, if you want to signal someone, whether it's maybe if a car broken down, you want to have a good signal, you could turn this red or whatever color that you think is good, and you could use this as a signal beacon. So that's pretty cool. Right, now I'm going to show you the last feature, and that's if you press it 3 times, you're going to get 3 predetermined strobe patterns. Okay, so 3 times. And here you get kind of a police siren, red and blue. Now I won't suggest you use this randomly. However, I can see this being useful if maybe there's a situation where you are in a spot of trouble. Maybe you purposely use this to kind of signal that the police are nearby and trick bad people in thinking the police are nearby. So use it as you may, use your own discretion. Let's go to the next one. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Okay, so press twice, not 3. So 3 is to get it into the cycle, 2 is to change it. Now you get this kind of a running, almost like a disco party kind of strobe light feature. And then 2 again. And you get this rolling bar. And then switch it off by pressing 1. We've turned the lights back on, and wasn't that cool seeing all those just different light features within one flashlight like that? I really think this has tremendous value. I think that it's a good size, it's a good weight, and really all those functions really to me make this a great flashlight. And the price as well, it's not expensive, and the good folks at Wurkkos have given a discount code for you guys to use. Check out the link in my description, use the promo code, and I believe it's about $30 US or so. That's a real steal for such a flashlight in my opinion. Now in terms of EDC, I said earlier, it's great for a crime scene investigator because there's a UV light, there's the work light, right? Just all the functions they'll need. But for me personally, I don't think I would EDC it because I don't need all these functions in kind of an EDC flashlight. However, as my table light, I think this is awesome because it's got so many different features. I could use them at any time. I don't have to look for different lights. I just have one light, and I can have UV, I can have work light, I can have a spotlight, different intensities. And also it's just the ease of cycling in between the functions that I really appreciate. Now, it's easy enough to get back into it. Now, of course you would forget. If you don't use this for a long time, I can imagine you'd forget. In fact, I forgot. You saw earlier whether it was 2 clicks or 3 clicks. However, if you follow that basic formula of 1 click, 2 clicks, 3 clicks and holding, you would be able to get back to know exactly what the different cycles are and the patterns for this light within a minute or so. So I really appreciate that. And to me, besides the features of a flashlight, that usability, user-friendliness is really important to me. Well, there you have it. What do you think of this HD01 UV from Wurkkos? Do you own it? Do you have a UV light that's separate? Well, I'd love to hear your comments. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like the content in general, please subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.